So you're feeling a little nervous about your OT school interview. Don't worry, I got you. This is the second video in my series preparing you for OT school. Before this, I answered the 5 most commonly asked questions about occupational therapy school, and today we're gonna be diving into my interview tips. I'm an interviewer for my OT school, and I do have another video like this. I might double up on some information that I think is helpful just in case you come across this one and not that one, but I recommend watching them both. I'll tag it here. So in this video, I'm gonna dive into a few commonly asked questions and some things you should think about for answering them. I highly recommend rehearsing your answers to, especially to popular questions. You don't wanna sound rehearsed when it comes out, but having an idea of what you're gonna say is really helpful. But first, let's rapid fire a few questions that you might see in an OT interview. And I don't necessarily wanna spend a ton of time in this video talking about them because I think there's plenty of information about how to answer these elsewhere on the internet, and I really want to spend my time on things that you might not get somewhere else. Tell us about your leadership experience, strengths and weaknesses. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What is your communication style? And this might come across as what's the time that you've struggled to communicate with someone. Tell us about a time where communication didn't go so well. These rapid fire ones are a little bit more general that you might see in any grad school or even professional interview. So now let's dive into a few that you will most likely see in your OT interview experience and some things you should think about when you're answering them. The first, why OT? You don't just want to say I'm interested in helping others. I think that that's a really great place to start and could maybe be like, I was looking into healthcare fields because I really want to help others, but have some concrete specifics about why occupational therapy. This means that you need to show that you understand what occupational therapy is. And that's really what they're getting at in this question is, do you understand what occupational therapy is? Do you understand what you're getting into? And do you actually want to get into it? So have an answer that somehow answers all of those questions. Next, of course, tell us about yourself. At my school, when we interview someone, we only know their name and their undergraduate university. So it is helpful for you to tell us what you study, why you chose to study it, as well as what you're interested in, both in a professional realm and personally. This is our opportunity to see if you're gonna be a good fit for our program. When I was applying to schools, geography was a huge factor in where I was applying, partially because I wasn't sure if I wanted to go to OT school that year, so I wasn't committed to moving anywhere just for school. So I chose to stay in a local area. However, I live in Colorado, and so my hobbies and interests were a huge part of why I wanted to stay in this geography. And so by highlighting that and also saying like I'm particularly looking for schools in this area because I want to participate in all of these things in my personal time because these are my occupations, helps give us a picture about why our school is a good fit for you. And your interest might be professional. Perhaps the school that you're applying to has a great emphasis on pediatrics, and you could say like, I've always loved the pediatric field, want to dive into that. I recommend sprinkling a little bit of why you want to go to the school and a little bit of who you are as a person, as well as what you've accomplished into this answer. This next question is going to become more and more prevalent over the next couple years and then fade out. Why are you choosing a doctorate degree? I'm not sure if master's program asks the equivalent of this question for masters. However, I think there are fewer and fewer master's programs every year because of the requirement for all the programs to be doctorates in 2027. So I thought it'd be important to touch on this question. Doctorate programs have a huge emphasis on research and leadership. So your answer should somehow encompass your interest in these things. You will likely run into some form of an ethical dilemma question. You don't need to know the ethical terms and technicalities. They just want to see that you have a moral compass. It's even okay to admit that you don't know the right answer, but this is what you're thinking. And it's okay to think out loud for this question. Just be like, man, that really doesn't sit right with me. Da, 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 da. These are the directions that I see as a possibility to take, and these are the outcomes. That's what we really want to see, is that you can critically think through an ethical dilemma and do the right thing. And then the last thing is that they are going to ask, do you have any questions for us? I think in my last video I said make sure that you know a little bit about the school. That still stands. Make sure you know about the program you're applying to, even if you applied to 50 different programs. I love when I get the question of like, well, what brought you to this school? Why did you choose this school? Why did you choose OT? What do you like about the program? What do you not like? What did you find surprising? Those are great questions to ask and are very helpful for you. Basically, when they say, what questions do you have? It's your opportunity. It truly, like, we're not assessing what you're asking. It's just truly your opportunity to find out more that helps guide your decision. Other general OT school interview tips: dress professionally. Typically Typically, OT interview days have a lot of walking around a campus, touring, walking from place to place. So be prepared to be comfortable, be personable. I know it's okay to admit you're nervous. I hope that I don't come across as intimidating when I'm interviewing students. I really care about my program and just want to help it succeed by helping be a part of the student selection process. I know that it's intimidating, so I'm not gonna be like, don't be nervous. It's such a scary experience, especially when you really care about something. But like, practice everything in advance so that you can calm your nerves and know that you're prepared. You wouldn't walk into a test unprepared. Don't walk into your interviews unprepared. If you have group interviews, don't overpower the whole conversation, add to it. Network with other candidates, the professors that are at the interview day, as well as the other students there. Asking questions throughout the whole interview day process allows you to be the most prepared to make a decision when it comes to choosing a school. You're gonna rock it. You're gonna do great. I'm not even worried about you even a little bit. Let me know how your interviews go by dropping a comment down below. If you are thinking about OT school, have any questions about it, or just generally interested in occupational therapy, I'd recommend subscribing so you don't miss any of my videos where I make content about being a grad student, my life, and living in Colorado. Especially, you don't want to miss out on this series, so subscribe. Good luck, you got this, and I'll see you next time for what I thought OT school was gonna be versus how it actually played out. Do I regret anything? I don't know.